Hello everyone and welcome to my Saturday 100-day project catch-up. I've done tags again this week, not every single day, but I've taken a couple of days or probably 3 and done bits of these. So I'm just going to show you, and then I mean, it's fairly obvious what I've done and the tutorials probably are much the same, so I thought we might do a couple more, but do them as a sort of craft along, and I'll do my measurements and things. So they're all flower fairies, and they're all on, this is from an old mechanical engineering book, which I quite like, with the numbers and diagrams in it, which I happen to find. I've dressed this one up with some buttons and an old name tag. I don't know how old that is. We used to have to do these when I was a youngster at school. You can see I've stitched the buttons right through. Okay, and this one, I've done that sort of top on it. This one, the image is a bit bigger. Again, I've used buttons and Tracy Fox label. This is one of my favourite images from the Flower Fairy books, the Willow Fairy. Buttons again, this is just the same, exactly the same as the previous tag, just a different image and a slightly different coloured ribbon, which this time I've tied in a bow. This one I've gone back to the name tag. I've put a bit of lace on the bottom, wax seal, and I've just tied it slightly differently at the top. This is often the way I tie my tag toppers in my journals, because it just is slightly flatter, to try and keep the bulk down, although I'm not very successful at that, as you'll know. This one is the pretty Sweet Pea Fairy, and we've picked up the colours, obviously, in the, I probably didn't say that, but in the embellishments and the ribbons I've picked up the colours in the image. This is a dried or silk hydrangea that I've pulled apart. That's just glued down with a bit of bling and some quite bright sari there. I probably wouldn't use that for much else, but that looks quite pretty on there. This one is more autumnal. Tracy Fox label and another of those wax seals. I've just bossed that, rubbed that over with a bit of treasure gold just to pick out the image there. Again, some sari silk at the top, and this is traditionally tied. And this one is little flowers again. This is a smaller silk flower I've got. Flower, I don't know what to say. I'll show you later if I remember. Again, I've just tied it with some sari well, this is chiffon ribbon at the top. So if you'd like to join me to craft along and make a couple of these, I will be back shortly. Okay, so the first thing I do is cut my book page. This is from the same book. This is the book. It's a really nice coloured pages. I think I just found this, just pure luck, in a second-hand shop here in the UK. This actually is one of the written pages, but that's, I don't mind that. Let's do it. So I've got a piece of card which measures 3 1/4 by 6 1/2, and I've cut the paper to the same size. It's stiffish card. And my image, I have varied the size of the images, but this one is 2 1/2 by 4. This one is 2 1/2 by 4. Oh, perhaps they're all similar. This one looks as if it's a bit less. They're all about 2 1/2 wide, and they vary between 3 1/2 and 4 deep, that way. So the first thing I do is put my image down, because I want to stitch it on. But I prefer, I don't always do it, but I prefer not to have too much stitching on the back of my image. And I'm going to place that with slightly more space at the bottom than the top, and try and get it straight. So So that's just tacked on, and then I'm going to take that to my machine and zigzag round the edge here. So I'll do that and I'll be back. So if you're doing this along with me, hopefully you stopped the video there, went away and stitched, and now we're back, and I've actually done two, very similar. So the next thing for me is just to get the paper down on the card. I'm going to use a little bit more glue just now, but I'm not going to worry too much because, again, I'm going to stitch around the edges. Just using glue stick. I like Scotch. It's not very forgiving, actually. It's you don't have much time to, if you get it wrong, there's not much time to move anything. It grabs quite quickly. Sorry, I need to be up here. With the setup, I have to remember that I'm working a bit further in front of me than I normally would. Let's move it up there. Okay, so we glue those down. And then I'm going to cut my corners. So I've got my trusty old ski card here. If you haven't got one of these, just cut one corner, reverse it, and cut the other corner. But this works is easier. Got sort of slightly different angles on all of these, but these two are my favourite, this one and just a small one here. So the next thing, before we finish off, I mean, this is such a simple project really, but as I say, at least you can see the sizes and things, is I'm going to straight stitch around the edges of each of these, and then we'll decide how we're going to decorate the bottoms. Right, we're back to finish these off. I've been and sorted a few bits out, so you're not having to wait while I search for things. I thought I'd show you my little flower jar. This was a bigger version of this, and is lots of hydrangea petals, and I just pull out the plastic bit and use that. And with these, I just literally pull these off, these little ones off. And I'm going to decorate both of these with flowers today. I wanted to show you buttons, but I don't know, they're just begging to have the flowers on, so that's what we're going for. So this one is going to have, it's the colours really, this one is going to have 3 of these hydrangea petals on at the bottom here. They're just really going to be very similar. And I tend to attach these with bit of Fabri-Tac. PVA works as well. I can never really, to be honest, decide which is best for this type of thing. I want these to overlap a little bit. Maybe not quite as much as that. The Fabri-Tac, I'm getting all caught up, but there we go. I don't think that's working too well, so let's rethink that and go back to my PVA. I use PVA really for most things. If I'm doing fabric to fabric, I would use the Fabri-Tac. better. Put that one down there. Just don't want to stick. It's called being on camera. I don't know why that's not sticking. And then I want to put some blingy bits in the middle. And I found these little flower, I don't know, little flower things. And because I'm struggling a bit here with the glue, maybe Fabri-Tac is better. I think these will grab, it just takes a minute or two. What we will do is do these three like this. And I'll just get acrylic block just to sit on there while they grab. Now I'm going to have the same trouble with this side, I expect. But let's see. So I've got tiny ones this time, just for a different look. And this time I'm putting these little round diamantes in. Sorry, my head is there, and another block just to rest on those, to hold those down. Okay, so I'm just going to let those dry for a few minutes and then I'll be back. Right, we're a few minutes later and these have grabbed now. I just think this is a bit much. Now I look at it, I probably would either just stick to two or put the smaller diamantes in the centre, but you know, you live and learn. And it doesn't look terrible. So I just now want to find the centre at the top. I'm going to make my hole. Some time ago I bought these larger memory keepers. What are they? Eyelet things, but actually I'm not mad on them. But I need to use them, so I'm going to use those for this. And I found some seam binding which picks up all the colours. If you haven't got seam binding that matches, use white or off-white. I'm going to tie this in quite a big bow because I want to balance out what's going on down here. And that's number 1. Actually looks quite pretty. Oh, and I just glued the labels with a bit of glue stick. This one has grabbed as well. And for this one, obviously, I'm just going to use the off-white to match these. Oops, that one is still not stuck. Sometimes when you put a lot of glue on, it makes it worse. So let's pop this on first, just to show you. And this time I'm doing slightly smaller, not much, just a little bit smaller. I'll just wait those for a little bit longer. And there we are. 2 pretty tags that would go in a journal or as a thank you. There we go. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all again soon.